I'd like to call this meeting to order. This is the regular meeting of the Village of Leonard Council. Today is December the 11th. I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And if you had a chance to get up here, we had a real nice Christmas tree lighting ceremony for the village Christmas tree. So I want to thank Kay Olson and the decorating committee and all the people that gave baked goods. Santa couldn't make it this year, but I know they haven't given up trying to get them come next year already, so we'll keep you updated on that.
A little longer here.
Yeah. Hey.
Sam get the cookies from the store.
Yeah, Sam donated. I donated some. I'm sure others did, so yeah. Okay. I'd like to ask everyone to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a brief invocation. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you that we can meet and discuss the things that come before this council. We pray that you guide our decisions and may they be in the best interest of this village. In your name we pray, amen.
Amen.
Okay, could we have a roll call for attendance of the council?
President McDonald?
Here.
Mrs. Sotheby?
Here.
Mr. Amaranti?
Here.
Mr. Hoffman?
Here.
Mr. Kennedy?
Here.
Okay, note for the record that both Clerk Cindy Groskopf and Treasurer Judy Burse are present. Council has before it the minutes of the November 13th regular meeting of the Village Council. Are there any questions, corrections? If none, a motion to approve the minutes would be in order.
I so move.
Second.
Shar Sotheby, Larry Hoffman. Are there any questions on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor of approval of the minutes of the November 13th regular meeting, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say no. Minutes are approved. The council has before it an agenda for tonight's meeting. Are there any additions, subtractions? If none, a motion to approve the agenda would be in order.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Questions on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor of the approval of the agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say no. The agenda is approved. Council has before it the treasurer's report. Treasurer's report for the month of November. Are there any questions on that, or changes or corrections?
I make a motion that we receive and file.
Seconded.
Second by Mr. Hoffman. Okay, if there are no questions on the motion, could we have a roll call for receiving, filing the treasurer's report?
President McDonald?
Yes.
Mrs. Sotheby?
Yes.
Mr. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mr. Amaranti?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Okay. Council, you should find before you a number of budget adjustments that are needed for the month of December. Basically, in the general fund, we're going to increase the permits to $4,500, the miscellaneous to $27,000, and from local to $10,095.11. And we're going to take that part of that from reserve, being $25,595.11. In the general fund, we're going to increase permits to $3,375, miscellaneous property tax to $500, miscellaneous to $1,250. We're going to increase Leonard Drain by $250, and we're going to transfer to local from the general fund $16,000. We will decrease the line item for auditor by $5,125, making the total overall budget change to $216,574.68. Then in the major budgets, major expenses, we're going to increase the construction engineering for Elmwood by $15,646.25. We're going to decrease pavement marking by $8,500. We're going to decrease winter equipment rental by $5,000 and summer equipment rental by $2,146.25. There's no overall change in the total budget for the major fund. In the local fund, we're going to increase by transferring from the general fund $20,000. And then in the expense, we're going to increase drains to $20,000, making a new budget total from the previous one of $32,998. So are there any questions or? If none, a motion to make those amendments would be in order.
I so move.
I'll second it.
Paul? Are there any questions on the motion?
Fine.
Hearing none, could we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
President McDonald?
Yes,
Mr. Amaranti?
Yeah.
Mrs. Sotheby?
Yes.
very good, thank you. Now that we've done that, we can pay the bills. So with that, you have before you the accounts payable for November of 2016. Are there any questions, changes, or corrections? If none, a motion to pay the bills in the amount indicated would be in order.
I'll make a motion to pay the bills in the amount of $13,578.75 for the general. $12,359.19 for the major.
Where are you reading?
Can you put on
Oh,
that?
I'm looking at the one.
It is a misprint.
It's a
there-
misprint.
It does look like the totals aren't right on the,
44,000. I'll change that
On
then.
the
Well, I'm
accounts
here, but if
payable.
he was going by the sheet, it's not the same totals.
yeah.
So we can't throw eggs at him.
So the agenda.
I don't know, I'm waiting for Judy to weigh in on this.
The disbursements is 44,000.
The second one is $12,359.19, right?
No, 44,389.23.
From major funds.
There's something missing here.
Yes, you mean on
Obviously.
the accounts payable pages, yeah.
On the accounts payable page.
Yeah.
Are the numbers on this page are right?
The numbers on the agenda are correct.
It can't be, it says $58 in local. It says $58 for local.
Oh, where are those figures coming from?
Do you want to go? see
Yeah,
if you
and
can-
44,000 couldn't be correct for the major because.
No,
there's that much money.
44,000 is correct for the major. And the local should be $58. I don't know where this came from.
Well,
I
rough
think I got it
adding,
wrong.
I've got $11,000.
So do we have a motion to table this till later in the meeting?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to
Here,
table.
I'll do it.
Thank you.
I'll second
I
it.
didn't bring mine in.
Okay,
So, who made a motion?
Alex Kennedy?
And I second
So
it.
to be supported. All in favor of the motion to table until later in the meeting, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say no. Okay. At this time, the village council will receive comment from anybody in attendance. We ask you that you be brief and to the point. If you're here for an item that is on the agenda under new business or old business, you'll have an opportunity to speak to it. Otherwise, now would be the appropriate time to address the village council. Anybody care to? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to new business. Council has in its packet a resolution regarding the state of Michigan historic preservation tax credits. If you're not familiar, I think it was back in 2011, tax credits were eliminated due to the budget constraints that Governor Snyder and the legislature felt were conditions weren't right. But there has now been action in the legislature to restore them, both to commercial and residential properties. So this resolution is in support of that change. Are there any questions, or does the council want it read? If not, we could waive the reading and take a vote on it.
I guess just what does this imply for the village?
Well, currently, we don't have a historic district or a formal one. However, that's kind of the goal for every small community, to eventually have something like that in place. And this would give people that have historic properties incentives, reductions in property tax, both for commercial and for residential, to restore the homes rather than just change them significantly from their appearance or their use.
Okay.
So, there's a Senate bill 469, and where this resolution would basically call upon the Michigan legislature to pass this important legislation and for Governor Snyder to sign it in order to stimulate appropriate development and redevelopment and protect the historic character and quality of life of our communities. In a nutshell, that's what this is about. So is there a motion then to approve the resolution?
I so move.
Is that Mr. Hoffman?
Yeah, if I could talk.
Are there any questions on the motion or the resolution? Hearing none, all in favor, let's do a roll call on this, please.
Mr. Amaranti?
Yes.
Mr. Kennedy?
Yes.
President McDonald?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Mrs. Sotheby?
Yes.
Council should have received in its packet a proposed 2018-19 budget. You would identify it because on the far right columns it would show the new amounts. Got it here somewhere. But tonight is basically the kickoff for our budget process with the goal of adopting the budget in February at our February meeting. So we should see a significant decline in expenditures in major fund because of the completion of the Elmwood Street project, and the main costs coming out of major will be just paying for the road bonds that we took out to offset the construction costs. So Judy and I and Cindy will be open for your review and suggestions, and after you've had a chance to look it over, please don't hesitate to give us some feedback on it. With that, there's really no action to take, so we can move on unless somebody has questions at this point. Okay. I hear Judy coming, I think.
You do.
Better pat her little feet.
Matching forms. That's my wonder if I should hear.
Oh, okay.
So, the general fund's okay.
General fund's good.
Okay.
Major one.
We just covered the resolution and the proposed budget, which was, I just introduced it. We told them that we'd appreciate the feedback from the council. And then we're with the council, if we could get a motion then to go back to the accounts payable. And we can reopen that. Is there a motion and a support to reopen the accounts payable?
I make a motion. I'll second.
Yeah, that's Paul already.
Oh,
Yeah, fine, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so now, thank you, Judy. So the amounts then would be for general,
General fund's good the way it was.
$13,578.75.
Correct.
Major would be $44,389.23.
because I didn't want to do two in local.
And local would be $58.
Correct.
Okay. Okay, council, is there a motion then in the works for paying the bills at those figures stipulated?
Yes. So ordered. Awesome.
Paulo Morani?
Yes.
Supported, Larry?
Yeah.
Okay, are there any questions on the motion? Hearing none, could we have a roll call to pay the bills, please?
Mrs. Sotheby?
Yes.
Mr. Kennedy?
Yes?
President McDonald?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Mr. Amarante?
Yes.
All right, moving on to the next item, the village office hours. Judy brought this to my attention about the possibility of changing office hours either permanently or seasonally. And since you initiated this, Judy, I'm going to hand it off to you.
Well, I'm not real happy about working my Wednesday nights till 6 o'clock at night, especially this time of year, because it's dark, I'm all by myself, Kurt's no longer open. So when I leave here or just being up here by myself, I am totally alone. So I would like to change the office hours. I would like to change them to 9 to 2 every day that I work, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then have, if somebody needed to come up after those hours between 2 and 5, because there is no community open till 6. All communities close their offices at 5. That I would do it by appointment only, and it wouldn't necessarily have to be Wednesday. I would be flexible on any one of those 3 days.
Okay.
I don't think there's enough traffic up there in the late hours to really warrant staying open. I think if I have 10 requests for late for the whole year, I'd have a lot.
Okay.
So that's what I'm asking.
Okay, so are we talking not even seasonally do it? Or-
You're talking.
Making a permanent change. I think it would be easier for our customers to have a permanent hour set and by appointment only rather than have a seasonal switch.
Yes, it would.
Because if they don't have much to do in the village, they might, they don't remember, oh gosh, is it Tuesday or Wednesday that they're open early or late?
Yeah.
And, or just assume that it's open and it's not. And I've been up here many times on a Wednesday morning, they'll say, aren't they here?
Yeah.
No, that's not their hours.
Yeah.
So I think a steady, consistent hours would be better. The same
Like I
each
said,
day.
I'll accommodate them if they need later hours.
Yeah, because you got the answering
Right.
machine, so at least that would be,
Well, right, or if they called during business hours and said they couldn't make it till 5 or even, no, I'm gonna
Five,
cut it off at 5 because it's dark at 6. It's dark at 5.
dark at 5, yeah.
And say,
Well-
anytime between 2 and 5, but in the summer I'd be flexible, I don't, nothing around here is rigid. It's
Except
not,
me.
come on.
Except me.
Yeah, well, we're gonna loosen that up.
Yeah, right.
I think it's a good idea.
Any other comments, council? Residents?
I think it's a good idea. I need to
What
know
does
when
Wyatt
this place
think?
is open.
Does it sound like a good idea, Wyatt?
What are the new hours going to be then, Judy?
9 to 2, like they are Tuesday and
2?
Thursday. Yeah,
Okay.
And then what, Wednesday was
1 to 6.
1 to 6.
But
1
they-
to 6, so you're going to change that from,
1 to 6 to 9 to 2, and then I'll meet any one of those 3 days if they need to meet between 2 and 5,
By appointment only.
by appointment.
So all 3 days, the time would be the same.
Right.
Well, how would it be to do this for a test period, like say to May, and then re-examine? Because
Okay.
when we get to May, we get into the building season.
We do.
There are,
But usually the contractors are there during the day, and very few contractors come up late in the evening. It's usually daytime.
what about the calls for the inspections, though? Are those,
Those can come anytime. They come even on Saturday and
Okay.
Sunday, so.
you can handle those if they leave a message as well?
Right.
Okay. Okay, does council want to initiate a motion on this, or?
I'll make a motion that we change our Wednesday hours to 9 to 2. The same as we have on Tuesday and Thursday.
Opposed to a trial period, or is that?
I don't have a problem with the trial period, but I really believe that probably once you try it, unless you got a lot of complaints, which I don't think you will, I think you'll find it works fine.
And that's really all I want to do, is rather than change hours and then find out we might have to go
Well,
make
and if
another
we do,
change.
we have to,
Yeah.
but I
So-
don't think it's gonna happen.
So we'll put this on the April agenda to see how it worked out, and come May, we can keep it, or,
But I think that she has a valid point. She is all alone in this building. There aren't people around. And the way the world is today, I really think it's not safe for her to be in here by herself. We have to leave the door open, and this is a big building. I really think it should start right now. That's my personal opinion.
Well, I don't have a
Alrighty.
problem waiting till the first of the year. Or, I don't,
It doesn't.
I mean, if we're
the
gonna.
motion is your motion to begin,
Motion is to begin this week.
I'll support that motion.
So what are the dates, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday?
from 9 to 2.
9 to 2.
What about a doorbell?
Tuesday, Wednesday, and
What about
Thursday,
the
9
doorbell?
to 2.
We have a doorbell, yeah.
Am I getting that right?
Yes. If you can't,
You could lock the
Am
door.
I getting that right?
What's that?
Then somebody-
9 to 2?
But I'm still alone up
Wednesday,
Yeah,
when they come
and
in.
she'd be alone down here,
Yeah, that's true.
opening the door.
Yeah.
Okay, so I heard a motion from Shar,
Paul supported.
pardon?
Paul supported.
Paul supported it? And so, am I incorrect, or, the motion is to, commencing tomorrow?
This week,
Or commencing
Yeah.
this week,
Yes.
9 to 2.
village office hours will be 9 to 2, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and through April,
Through April.
and then we'll be up for review
Okay.
in April, start it for change in May.
And you should put on there that office manager will be available by appointment
Between 2 and 5.
between 2 and 5 on those days.
Yeah,
Okay. Paul, you concur?
yes.
Any other questions or input? Hearing none. All in favor of the motion to change the village office hours as stated, with the conditions stated for review and for after-hours appointments, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say no. All in favor. Okay, Judy. Good
I'll let
luck.
you know how it goes.
Sure.
We all expect Christmas presents now because you have so much time. Sorry, I was joking.
Okay, this next item is one that I requested to be placed on the agenda because the Planning Commission is holding their is still working on the master plan, but they have basically finished it. It's ready now for review by the other communities, Oakland County, Addison Township, after which, after they have given us input, probably in February or March, we will have a public hearing at the Planning Commission here, and then they will give us the master plan. But I want to thank the entire Planning Commission, past and present, that have worked on this book, but I want to make a point of the council knowing and appreciating that our council chairs have always done the lion's share of managing and making sure that things operate within the Planning Commission. And Leslie McKenna is no exception, and she has actually developed and actually made these books and printed them. Now these are draft, but they will, subject to review and changes. She put these all together, all of the graphics and everything else, and at considerable time and expense on her part. So I put this on the agenda because I think the village council would be well served to reimburse her for in appreciation of that amount of work that was so-called off the books and not required of her. Ordinarily, and we paid Rand Bowman several $1,000s to do the statistical work and come up with a lot of the content for the inside, socioeconomic and whatever. But the rest of it has been the product of our own Planning Commission, and Leslie has taken all that and put it together. So I wanted to recommend to the village council, and in the past we've paid literally thousands of dollars to professional planners and ended up with master plans that were probably not as well suited as and geared towards our community as this one is. So I know it's a departure from the norm, but I wanted to request that the village council reimburse Mrs. McKenna for some of her efforts, and I thought $500 would be an appropriate amount, but it's open for discussion. You haven't seen it yet, and it will be online this week. I had a little trouble. I tried to upload it to the website today, but I'm not very good at that. But it's not going to be printed. She printed one copy because we may have to provide that to one of the communities. But if not, it will be in the office if you want to stop in and take a look at it. But I'm open for comment, questions, and Leslie's here, so we'll grill Leslie too.
Well, I've been over when Leslie was working on this, and I know she has put a lot of time, a lot of effort into doing this book.
Yeah, there were 3 days in a row where I had sent her an email and I didn't hear back from her, and I thought, she's either working on the master plan or she's not talking to me anymore. But it turned out she was doing the final work on the master plan. So I can pass it down. You guys want to take a quick look?
You said that it's going to be online?
Yes. It will be a draft. It's not the final plan until it comes to the village council for approval. But it is really tailored to the community, and it's got pictures as well as charts and all that of community properties, houses, things like that. It's very much personalized for the village of Leonard.
It's also very professional.
Yes.
Yeah, it really is. So if we were to do this, it would come out of the Planning Commission category for funds. Judy, would you agree? Mm-hmm. So, and we do have the funding for it. In fact, we actually added extra in there when we adopted the budget because we knew we would probably need to do have professional work done on it. And I think the amount I've suggested is, it's reasonable as an appreciation of her efforts, but it certainly wouldn't compensate a professional planning company. They wouldn't touch this for $500, so.
I don't think we've ever had it in color before either.
I don't know, were some of the maps in the old? You know,
No. There was add-on pages in color, but they were all black and white.
yeah, yeah.
We had one from Oakland County that was in color that they sent us and we stuck it in.
Right.
I think it looks wonderful.
Is there a motion then, and the support?
I'd like to make a motion to pay $500 from the planning commission budget as a token of appreciation.
Mr. Hoffman? Are there any questions on the motion? Hearing none, can we have a roll call vote, please?
President McDonald,
Yes.
Mrs. Sotheby,
Yes.
Mr. Amaranti,
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman,
Yes.
Mr. Kennedy.
Yes.
And I want to be clear that it was my idea to do this, I approached Leslie about not just putting it together, but I mean, to suggest that we show her how much we appreciate the amount of work that she put in. She did not initiate this at all, so. And I don't think she would have. Okay, so thank you, Leslie.
Thank
Very
you.
much. Okay. Okay. Okay, moving on to old business. Elmwood Street update. The village has entered into an agreement with the contractor and the engineers that in the spring, they're going to take out some of the bad concrete work that's been done in the village from the road job and replace it. So we put that in the form of a written agreement to make sure that it gets done, and the contractor has not been paid for it. So that means that next spring, we're still going to be making we'll be paying a couple payments to the contractors and the engineers before we actually can close the books on the project.
Are we going to pay at the same rate that we're paying now, or is it going to be a new rate?
Nope, it's the same rate. That's why it needed to be in writing. It kind of falls outside MDOT's normal contract protocol, but as long as we all agreed on it, MDOT was okay with it. So, and frankly, the main reason is because we just ran out of time and weather to try and do it right. So that's where things are on that. And then Clark Drain update. As you recall, when we did the Whitehead Drain intercepts the Clark Drain, which is the drain that is the county drain. And then when we rebuilt the catch basin, but we also discovered that there were a number of broken clay tiles in the Clark Drain that are not the village responsibility. So we alerted the Water Resources Commission to that. And lo and behold, 5 months later, they finally came out and fixed it. In doing so, though, they found at least one illegal tap in to the drain. A house was pumping wash water into the drain system, and they're still investigating that, so to speak. And then they also cut a septic system, and so hopefully they repaired it when they put it back together. But I just want to let you know that we may hear more about that in the future.
This house drain, how many years has that been going on? I mean, is it a recent thing or a long time ago?
It's not recent.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not recent. But the property owner and the renters that live there are aware of the situation, and it's entirely up to them whether, and it's between them and the county, not us. It really doesn't have anything to do with us. Okay, So that said, we'll continue with the agenda. DPW truck, I just wanted to make the council aware that we had more problems with it, but we got them fixed. Don did a heck of a job. Kurt Strobel helped them. We've got 2 loads of salt in the barn, so we should be good for a while. And we had to buy a new air compressor because the compressor he had couldn't develop the air pressure to break loose some of the larger bolts and hardware on the truck. So we found one on sale. It was adequate for what we need. Okay, moving on to the President's report. We had no Freedom of Information Act requests. On the block grant, the contractor has delivered shingle samples to the resident. Once the resident picks out the shingles they want, that work will be done. They expect to complete it before Christmas, if at all possible. So, and then ordinance enforcement. There are 3 active right now, and they're pretty much the same ones we look at each month. The village building inspector is going to look at 4 West Elmwood and 4285 Forest, and then 4380 Baza is the other one that's active in the village right now. Ordinarily, I wouldn't do this, but since the residents are here, if they want to address the council, there's not going to be any back and forth, but you're welcome to.
Oh, I'm just here to see if you looked at the letter that I wrote.
Yes, we did.
And then see if there was any answer to it, that's all.
Well, if you want an answer in writing, I'll certainly give you one.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Moving on
Just
to-
as a matter of clarification, then you're saying council members don't have a say in this?
Right, there's really nothing we can do. There's 2 avenues. We have laws that we've adopted, so we can't, the laws are the same for everybody.
But are these new, or are these enforcements
From the new.
that are coming from here, or are they ones that have been on the books all along?
They've been on the books.
No.
One's changed. The zoning ordinance one is the one where there was some misinformation given to them. In order to have chickens, poultry, you have to have at least 2 acres. Hear me out, because
I
it's
remember
written,
that being
it's written in the letter correctly that you received.
I can't find my other book.
Once you have 2 acres, then you are allowed 35 chickens per acre, but you don't meet the minimum acreage necessary.
Right, and.
So you're not allowed to have poultry.
Okay, but
Okay.
the original ordinance says 1 acre. That's the clarification I wanted.
No, that's incorrect. The original ordinance the ordinance 19 has not changed in that regard.
Okay.
That's the zoning ordinance. The municipal code ordinance is the one that covers dogs. Okay?
Okay,
The zoning ordinance used to cover dogs, but it doesn't anymore. Just the municipal code. And the code is 3 dogs, which was what the zoning ordinance previously.
that was not in
Right.
the ordinance book.
No, it's not in the zoning ordinance, no.
So, but it is in the new ordinance.
It's in the new municipal code
Right,
ordinance.
but the old ordinance, it was not.
No, it was,
Not an amount. It referred to animals as domestic, but it didn't give an amount.
in which ordinance? The police power ordinance or the zoning ordinance? Are you referring to? There's 2 different
Well, the
ordinances.
ordinance that you referred to, the letter that you was written, it was not referred to in that ordinance.
No, you're right. It's not referred to in the zoning ordinance. It's referred to in the municipal code ordinance, correct?
So then what is the resolution?
The law is 3 dogs.
But does he have to get rid of an animal that he's had all these years? And now forgive me for speaking up, but I don't think he's the only resident who probably has more than 3 dogs.
I
And
would
unless
be-
we're gonna go around and inspect all houses, I kind of think
Well,
we're picking on him.
You know, it's a sad state of affairs, but most laws and ordinances are created because people just can't get along with
Has
their
there been any
neighbors.
complaints?
Or, yes, there have been.
Yeah,
And I have inspected because I've been over there in the summer and I've driven by a few times and listened, and you do have, it stinks in the summer. I wouldn't want to live next to you.
Look, can I ask a question? Is that stink from the farm that we live across the street from? Or is it
Oh,
stink from my house?
no, it's from your house.
Okay.
Because I go right over by your house. And I know that at least one of your neighbors that I questioned has tried to be nice, according to them, and asked you to clean up and to not, have the noise from the roosters, and you basically ignored them, which is pretty much your track history, quite honestly, because I had you as a neighbor too. So,
Mike, do not go there.
no, it's fine.
Leave that in the past.
Yeah, it is, it is. But it doesn't speak well to caring about a community and following it. If you want to get me a vet's letter saying that you have an older dog that's going to pass away, I'd be willing to look at that, but I'm not going to, arbitrarily ignore a complaint. I'm not going to arbitrarily ignore a complaint.
I don't want you to ignore it. I addressed the council, and that's the reason why I wrote the letter.
Well, it's not a council matter. You can go to the zoning board of appeals. I think there's a $250 fee, and you could talk about the chickens. You can get something done for the chickens, but you can't get something done for the dogs, because that's the law.
The law, will you please show me in the book right now?
The code? I sent it to you.
But that's not the code, it's not in there as an amount.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
In the municipal code, it is
The
in
new
there.
one, but the purchase of
Larry,
the animals from the old one.
Larry,
But
what are you talking about?
it's a new code, it's different. And you're lucky I can't find the other one because I was looking for it in my house.
I'm
These
lucky.
codes are different.
I'm lucky. Yeah, we all voted for them, Larry,
I know,
and they were based on previous
but
codes.
how long do you have to go through? When you go through those things, it's just like when you're in negotiations.
Well, my question is, I understand that it's the new code. I'm not disputing that. But these animals were purchased prior to the new code. That's the reason why I'm asking.
All I'm telling you is the law is the law now.
Well, so
The-
you mean to tell
the
me if,
complaints that I've received are legitimate,
Well,
at
then
least
I
to the
just
best.
wanna let the
So
council
I'm
know.
offering you an opportunity to, if you can provide a letter saying that you have an older dog and you agree that once that dog's gone, three dogs is all you're gonna have, we can probably work on that. But short of that, I would much prefer to just have the attorney send you a ticket or a subpoena, go to court, and let you fight with the judge about it, okay? Maybe you'll have better luck there.
Because it's not in there, we were grandfathered in.
No, it doesn't work that way, I'm
well, it worked
sorry.
it worked that way for you with the horses, when they let
No.
you keep the horse till it died.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so why can't that work for us?
Well, I had a
Was that a
vet.
council decision?
No, it was not.
So you went to court, and the court
Oh,
told you?
no.
So who made that decision?
The village council, I guess, because they
Okay,
never
well,
took,
I'm just
they
asking
never
for the
took
same
action.
I'm just asking for the same thing.
They never took action.
Mike, the reason why you won't allow the council to do it is because me and you've had a hard on for me since I've lived in this town.
That's not true at all.
Bullshit. You've been at my house
Hey,
taking
I would be-
pictures
I would
in
be-
front of my house when I used to live across the street.
I
I'm
would be-
not arguing with you. All I'm asking is somebody give me a fair shot. That's the reason why I
Okay.
wrote the letter and did it.
Well, what I could have
And then
done
you sit there
is
as Mr.
issue.
Hoffman and say, oh, I'm lucky. It's changed. You changed the ordinance.
Did I say he was lucky?
No, you didn't.
No, I said,
Larry.
you're lucky I didn't find my other book.
Well, short of
I
that,
wanted to see the difference between the two and I couldn't find it.
short of that, if I had a bone to pick with you, we could have started all of this quite a long time ago.
You're right. And you
But
could
I
have came to my
held
house
off,
and knocked on
I
the door.
held off until it didn't make sense to hold off anymore because nothing changed.
Okay.
So,
That's
Yes,
fine.
yes.
No, that's
It has
fine.
changed.
Then you send a letter to the court and we'll go to court, but I want the whole council to go to court.
that's
Because you're
not how
making
it
the
works.
decision for everybody else, so I can't.
No,
That's what I thought.
see, that's not how it works.
I understand that, but that's what you
The
just
other-
said.
The other side don't care.
No,
I addressed the council. I wrote the letter. Did anybody get a copy of my letter?
tonight,
I don't have it
Right,
here.
tonight.
Well,
So,
it's been available for some time.
it
yeah,
wasn't
but
in my
when
box.
they told it was available.
I don't know. did you know, you made the
It
copies?
came in, I think I signed the date when it came in.
The 28th of November.
Yeah, that was right at the expiration of the amount of time I asked you for a response.
Right, 30 days.
Okay. And we got your response.
No, I have got my response.
No, we got your response,
Correct.
which basically didn't really do anything.
But that was asking you what I should do.
Okay, well, and I told you what you should do, but you don't want to do that.
No, you're right, absolutely.
Okay, fine.
So it's up to you to give the answer. It's not the council.
Well, yes, it is.
Okay.
Technically, because I
Okay, that's
am,
fine.
as village president, my job is, I'm the legal enforcement officer for the village.
Okay, so then it was up to you to give me the new ordinance, which is not the new ordinance at the time.
The information that you received when I sent you the original complaint or whatever notification is accurate.
Okay. It wasn't at the time. It became a law a week later.
Folks, you know, you're confusing dates and statements and information. You have,
I think you are. I don't think you know when the dog was purchased.
it doesn't matter.
It does matter
It
because
doesn't
it
matter.
wasn't an ordinance.
It doesn't matter.
Yes.
That's
And
fine.
we got a letter with false information, and I'll take you for it.
Are these the
Well-
only people that's getting done for having?
No, actually, I went around the village and checked, and I used aerial maps and checked all of the property owners that appear to have poultry, and all of them meet all the requirements.
They do?
Yes, they do.
A few houses down? I
Yeah,
don't think so.
they
I
have
think
almost
don't-
3 acres.
No, they don't.
They certainly do. I looked on the zoning, on the aerial maps for the county. The property, that farm field behind them belongs to them.
No, it don't. They rent that property.
They rent it to somebody else.
But
Come
that's
on.
fine. I'm not here to show, I'm not here to point
I mean,
fingers at nobody.
I
That's
tried
fine.
to-
If
I
I'm not
tried to
allowed
do
have
my
poultry,
due diligence.
I'm not allowed to have poultry, but it does say in the book 1 acre.
No, yeah, it says 35 chickens per acre if you have 2 acres.
No, it does not.
Oh, my
It-
goodness.
It does.
It does. You got misinformation.
Right, I read it wrong.
She read it
I'll
wrong.
admit.
Others have made the same misinterpretation.
We have the ordinance that was copied for us, and it does not say that in the ordinance.
The copy that you're referring
Yes,
to,
it
I
does.
don't know. But the original notification that you received
The
has the
letter did,
correct
the ordinance
information.
did not.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you when I'm talking.
I said the letter did. It stated 2 acres, but the
Yes.
ordinance
It
does
doesn't
not.
say.
Yes, it does.
2
It
acres.
doesn't. We have a copy of the
It
letter.
does. I
Okay.
read it
Doesn't
wrong.
say it.
It's the way it's
I
interpreted.
got it right here.
I read it wrong
What
to
you
you
give
guys.
us.
Here's a copy of what they were
At the
saying.
very beginning of it says it.
It says horses and other livestock, which livestock types includes poultry. Horses and other livestock may be kept on any lot with a minimum area of 2 acres. You don't have 2 acres.
No, it-
End of
there's a
story.
second section that
End of
says
story.
poultry alone, and it's
The
1
maximum numbers of animals allowed shall be in accordance with the following schedule. That schedule tells how many acres how many animals you can have per acre, okay?
Right.
But only if you have 2 acres.
Well, it's unclear to me.
It is to me too, because down at
Yes,
the bottom.
I
it
understand
says
what
you
you're
can
saying,
have 25
but-
chickens
Right,
per acre. It
that's-
doesn't say 2
That's
acres.
how I
You know,
read it. But
You have to be able to read English.
Right.
If you
It
look
says
and
it
see
says.
So
after
there's 3 of
schedule,
us that can't read English.
after the schedule, there's a colon.
Is this on tape?
It's a
Good,
colon.
Because
It's a
we'll
colon.
just take this tape to court.
It's a colon.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
A colon means it refers to, whatever follows refers back to that definition.
Yeah.
That's all.
Same one.
Making up your
It's
Okay, so
basic English.
Let me, that's fine, you're saying that.
Okay.
But you're also, but there's not a number when it comes to domestic animals. So if you're telling me I gotta get rid of all my poultry, where does it say that I'm allowed only 3 animals in the old ordinance?
That's not, you're talking about dogs.
Right.
Right.
In the zoning ordinance, it doesn't refer to dogs.
Livestock.
It's controlled by the code of ordinances, the police power ordinances of the village. And you also receive that section in that notification.
But that was from the new ordinance, the one that was just passed last month.
This is the remake of the old police power
But
ordinances.
the old police power ordinance had no amount of dogs on it. It just said domestic animals. It did not say 3, or 4, or 2,
I
or 1.
don't know that. I'm just going by what this says.
Well, I understand that. That's what my question was with the letter that I wrote you.
Well, you know what? I'm really tired of arguing in circles with you.
I'm not, I want clarification.
So I've tried to explain, and I said I would send you a letter. What more do you want?
That's fine. Send me a letter.
Okay, I will.
As long as we are not spot picking on them.
No,
Because
not
I
at
know of other places that are not in conformance, and I'm not turning them in. But
With chickens or
Yes.
with dogs?
with chickens and dogs
And dogs.
In the village?
in the village. So, you know, if we're gonna enforce these,
Is
then I
anybody
think,
complaining about them?
no, they're not.
Because I would have known if somebody was
Everybody
complaining.
likes to watch the stupid chickens.
Nobody likes to
I used to
listen to
have
them when
naked.
you
I
have
used to
half a
have
I
dozen
can hear
roosters.
their rooster and I can hear another one.
Yeah, I can too.
I hear two.
I hear them all
So,
around me too.
and I don't
It's not
object.
that I'm arguing with you. I just want clarification. That's what the letter was asking. And the
Well,
letter
I
does say that.
suggest then that you maybe go talk to an attorney. They'll give you an hour. Go to them and give them the letter.
I'm not
They
gonna
can- they can
waste
take
my
it- they
money
can took-
because you want to
No,
pick on us.
it's free.
It's not in the ordinance.
It's consultation is
There
free.
is nothing in the ordinance that has a number of dogs.
I'm sorry, you
Except for
feel-
the new one that came after the purchase of the
Okay.
last dog.
As a courtesy, I gave you an opportunity to address us because you chose not to at the public comment
Well,
section.
we didn't want to
But-
because you guys didn't give us an answer, which you in turn said that you didn't have for us anyway, so.
I was unclear because I assumed what was on the sheet is when you wanted them to speak, not under public comment.
That's why I didn't say nothing.
Okay, great.
Question.
Sure, Cindy.
In this day and age where they're allowing chickens in cities,
Yep.
Absolutely.
what is the problem with, I'm not saying 35, what is the problem with having some chickens?
Well, most people take care of them better than others, okay?
What are
So
you
it's
saying?
when there are,
Wait,
when
whoa,
there
whoa,
are,
whoa, whoa,
when
whoa.
there are
No,
problems,
I didn't freaking go there
When
because
there
my
are-
animals are all taken care of. They are taken to the vet. They have their shots. They're fed.
when there
they're
are
wild.
problems, then this is what happens. That's basically what
Did you
happens.
get any complaints from anybody other than that one?
Yes.
I'd like to see it. I'd like to see it in the record.
It's not the practice or my policy to disclose who complains.
No, I'm not
Because-
taking your word for
because
it
it
because
turns
I already
into
know
a-
what kind of cycle
Because
you are.
it turns into this kind of back and
No.
forth, negative
No,
thing.
no, no,
So,
Wayne,
no.
that's what I had.
okay, moving on.
American used to sit out there and watch.
The next item,
Kiss my ass.
you know, the Summer Festival Committee is not meeting until January.
So can they have any chickens at all?
No.
I think, no, this isn't Rochester or
Yeah.
Oxford, you know.
I,
You know what?
I think you're
Send me
wrong.
the letter.
This is
I think
cable-
you're wrong too.
Oxford area cable.
Please send me the
Livestock
letter.
always to me was
Send me the
cows.
letter.
Please stop disrupting. I
I'm
already
saying
said I
something
would.
about it.
I already said I would. Twice.
Hey Cindy, I told you so.
Cable Commission. Anything going on there?
I forgot all about them. Well, yes, there's things going on there. The chairperson has resigned, and I find myself in the uncomfortable position of being chairperson of something I didn't want to be chair of. So, when the election comes up, I'm sure somebody else will have that spot. That's all I have.
All right, Decorating Committee. I think we all know they did a good job with the Christmas tree.
Well, the tree looked nice.
The
hall was set up. Pardon me?
The,
What happened to the rest of them that used to hang?
we
They died.
We encountered OSHA regulations that we can't use the tractor anymore to lift people up to install them. So last year, we hired a contractor, but the guy never came back to help take them down, so we ended up having to risk life and limb to get them back down. So same problem this year. It's expensive if you want to pay somebody to come in and put them up. Don can't haul them up a ladder, and put them on. So yeah, so that's what's going on basically. Wish it wasn't, but it is. North Oakland Transportation Authority. I don't think there's anything major going on there. They have added 2 new buses and 2 new routes. Okay, Planning Commission.
You have this thing about a tree trimming. Is that just for our information, or was
You know
that
what?
supposed to have been addressed before now?
Yeah, it should have been addressed. My apologies. That was a late addition. With the council's, let's finish trustee and committee report.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to make sure that was addressed.
We can go through there. Thank you, Sheriff. So, Planning Commission, there's a public hearing on December 21st on the private roads, eliminating new private roads from the village. And then Pollyant Trail Management Council, the dues did increase for 2018. I expect that we will continue to do as we have done in the past, which is offset that by in-kind services where we take care of the trail and the parking lot, and we'll be doing all of the water well testing because technically we own the land, so we need to make sure that that's done right. But the trail council will continue to do the mowing and tank pump outs for the septic, for the pit toilet that's there. The Village Park, I don't think we got anything going on. Block grant, I don't remember seeing a summary. Did we get one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in
Thanks,
there.
Larry. So I don't think there's any changes on that from last
It's
month.
rotten for us to spend the money.
But
Yeah.
we-
They want us to spend that money quickly.
Yeah, hopefully we're gonna spend the money, for the roof.
Say it again.
Okay, got NODA again on there for some reason. Historical Study Committee, I don't think we've got anything planned going on there, do we? Anything?
You don't want NODA on there anymore?
It's on twice.
It's on there.
4 and 9.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay, correspondence. I got a resolution from Oxford Township regarding cell towers and laws. It was too late to get the deadline was the end of November, so I sent an email on behalf of the village. And then now, if the council would, if we could go back to new business and amend the agenda to include the number 5, which would be tree removal. What it is we've got a box elder tree on Forest Street on the right-of-way between the sidewalk and the street on the property that Dave Rathberg owns, which is south of where the Bells used to live. I think the address is 4285.
4422.
4422, thank you. So Don solicited bids. He actually contacted 4 people. He met with 2 of them, and another one came on their own. So we got 3 bids for removing the tree. Now some of them include stump grinding, some don't. But Don recommends that we have the stump ground because it is a box elder and it will grow sprouts and try to regrow if we don't grind it down below grade. So council has the 3 bids, 3 quotes. First is I think we'll do K&S Tree Service. Everything, it looks like everything and $800 for that. If they leave the wood on site, which Mr. Rathberg has asked that the wood be left, the certain size wood, it would be $650. And then Alpine Tree Service, hauling everything, removal, cut to ground level, it's $750. If they grind the stump, it's an additional $100, so that would be
$850.
$850.
What's the 600 here? Good
For cleanup.
Cleanup.
That's if they
That's
take
if
the
they
wood
leave.
away, right?
600 is
If they leave the wood, it's 600.
Yeah, if they leave the wood, it's 600.
750 if they haul it
And $100 for
for the
the...
grind.
Oh, I see what you're saying, not an additional 600.
No,
Oh,
right.
okay, all
That's-
right.
Yeah,
That makes
that's the
sense.
alternative price.
850.
All right.
So the property owner has been notified? that the tree has to come down?
Don spoke with Mr. Rathberg, and Mr. Rathberg is okay dropping the tree on his property so it doesn't fall to the road. And he would like the wood, so.
Like,
Well, you know what, the only thing I'd like to say to that is if we leave it, then I would like him to not leave it permanently on that property as an ugly eyesore.
My understanding is, Cindy, is that he's given it to somebody else.
That's fine,
So-
I just
I know.
know what the place looks like.
Yeah, well, you know, this is a mirror image of what I just tried to deal with, is you have, you know, people that have different ways of doing
I'm not
things.
going there, you know
But
how
I
I
mean,
feel about
I know,
animals and as far
I
as
know.
chickens in this day and age.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah,
there's
And there
people
are a
coming
lot
up.
of people.
Madison
Well, the
Heights,
old-
all over they have
The
chickens.
old ordinance,
Troy.
you had to have 1 acre.
Yes.
I don't think
I
so.
know it because I had chickens,
Okay.
and I went by the old
It
ordinance.
was 1 acre.
I remember.
1 acre,
It was
and it
But
was.
that was years ago. I mean, that ordinance 19 changed.
I've been around for years.
Yeah, I know. Me too.
Me too, I've been here long enough.
But that was years ago. I mean, that was many years
Well,
ago.
no, it was just
It
changed.
just changed though.
No, the zoning ordinance covers the chickens, not the...
The zoning
not the-
ordinance was changed about 10 years ago.
Yeah, in 88, I think it was.
Can I say something too? I believe that our purpose here not only is to run this village properly, but I think it is to work with the property owners so that it is a harmonious thing. And I think if we, and there's people in this town I don't care for, but I don't think that we need to reflect our personal feelings towards those persons when there's an issue. And it has happened before, and I really think that we need to try to separate our personal feelings from what needs to be done and be working together. Because if we work together, we can accomplish a lot in this town.
We do.
No,
We could accomplish more.
I think they're willing to give up some of the chickens.
Yeah, I do too.
Well, I can't talk about workarounds because legally we have laws, okay? They have recourse. They could go to court or they can go to the zoning board of appeals and ask to keep so many chickens.
$250.
And keep so many chickens. It is what it is. I mean, I didn't write these laws. You know, these were drafted through attorneys and village councils.
But couldn't
that
we have come to a
included us, some of
solution
us?
that we said, okay, you are in violation with the chickens. And when these chickens, you have them butchered because they've become old, you will no longer have more chickens. I don't think that they should have to butcher their chickens at this point.
They came into this meeting under the conclusion and assumption that they had a right to keep the chickens because sometime in the past, they would have had the right.
I understand
And
that.
they don't seem to accept that the
They
laws...
would though, if we presented it nicely, Mike, with the idea going forward, when these chickens are gone.
I'm more concerned with them clean. If they kept it clean and quiet over there wouldn't be a problem. That is
I have never
the
smelled
problem.
anything there, I haven't.
I haven't
drive
either.
by there a
Have you
lot.
been there in the summer?
Yes.
Because I was there last summer.
I drive by all the roads.
Well, I
all
was
the time.
there. I walked up, talked to the neighbor, and I was appalled. And those chickens have had lice. So it's not like they're maintained and everything clean. And there are communicable diseases from chicken to humans. So
She does keep it.
so neighboring pardon me?
She does keep the coop clean, though, I'm telling you.
I don't know about the coop. I just know what's outside.
I guess for me,
I'm
just
in the backyard.
for being new on the council, what is our standard procedure for going through this complaint? I know a lot of these ordinances are new, but do we generally meet and talk about this, or what is a notification?
No,
Because
they receive
I
the
would
letter.
like to, for me, I don't like being blindsided, with this kind of a
Right.
confrontation in a meeting, especially one that's
Well,
recorded.
and rightfully,
But-
it's not supposed to happen at a meeting. I mean, rightfully.
Understood.
But it does. People, when I moved here, I had the same problems. But
But you get to keep your horse.
did I?
Yeah.
I had to get rid of one of them. I was told by the village president that I had to get rid of the horse.
And I know you didn't, not right away.
Well, it took me a few months to find a home for it. And I broke the law again too, Larry, when I built a stall on my barn while there was an illegal moratorium. And, and I'm trying not to be illegal. I'm trying to do things the right way. They have recourse. They never came to me. They never addressed the problems until the day before the deadline, when in fact that's when legal action could have been instituted, and I didn't. I waited until they had an opportunity to come.
Again, I think they're assuming from past experience with this council that they would be rejected, so that's what they were expecting. I'm saying, can't we go forward from here, trying to respect the people
We can make a compromise.
and say, okay, you have these chickens. When these chickens are butchered, you will not be allowed to have chickens again. There's got to be some way that we can work with them other than making them so very, very angry. Yeah.
See, I don't have the power to do that.
But
No, we do. We don't have the power.
I think we do.
So we want to change our laws because these people, not anybody else.
It's a case by case.
you.
Well, they have a right. I'm
and
saying-
they're gonna know it. There are other people in
Yes.
this village
Well-
with the same situation, and nothing's gonna happen until somebody complains, and
Right.
nobody probably will.
Nobody has and nobody will.
So-
I like seeing them run around.
What
I
does
do.
that tell you?
This neighbor
I know.
has not gotten along with
Anybody.
anybody that lived there.
Including Mr. McDonald at times.
Anybody. And I don't know about the other one. If you had other complaints, okay, fine.
No, they didn't complain. They
I don't know. But I do know this one, and I like all my neighbors, except, no. I like all my neighbors, and I hate to see this.
I know.
Are we making a motion on the tree?
Well, I think we need to really think about it as a,
I think we
Hey,
more.
if you just want to ignore the laws.
That's not what we're saying.
No, in effect, that's what you're saying. It's when somebody has a
No.
problem, it's my fault that there's a problem, or it's a
You
neighbor's fault.
seriously should have done what you told me you were gonna do.
Which was,
Well, you weren't gonna speak, you were gonna leave it up to the council. That's what you
well,
told me.
come to find out, I can't. I can't.
it's not just your decision, though, Michael. It's the board's.
Okay, if you don't want to prosecute, for if you have someone that comes before you with a legitimate complaint, you're gonna choose, okay, I like this guy, but I don't like that one.
But that's what we're doing right now.
That's
Yes.
exactly what you're doing.
That's what we're doing right now, because we are ignoring others. We're doing the same things.
Yeah.
Shar, point them out.
No, I will not,
No.
because I think what we're doing to this couple is wrong.
Okay, well, what's the solution?
I think it's a case by case
Let's just throw the law,
situation.
well,
what we should
okay,
do.
let's throw the book away then.
You know what? The laws have changed in other communities, just like they've said, to allow chickens in small areas because a lot of people have asked for it. And if we have bigger municipalities than this one that are allowing it, we're pretty darn rural.
Yeah.
I think that it would be in our best interest to change our ordinance.
Yeah, Ann Arbor has an
So's
ordinance on chickens.
Troy,
Wow.
Royal
Yeah, well, Ann Arbor can have 5 chickens, no roosters.
Right. A lot of the communities.
Well,
are
maybe we
roosters.
have to get him to get rid of the roosters.
I think they would. I think
I
they
talked to
would.
him and Steve said they would definitely get rid of the
Yes.
roosters if they were as to
But
They probably cut back on the chickens.
have they?
They're waiting to hear what was said, and now,
They got,
God only knows.
they know, well, they're gonna get the same information that they got before. Because I can't tell them, okay, I'm gonna look the other way, and then the neighbor is upset because we don't do anything, and they got,
No,
and they
you can
got.
say we're gonna try and work it out.
Who is?
We,
The
as council.
council,
How are we gonna work
with
it out?
them. I
What
don't
about,
compromise.
what about the neighbors?
What about
to-
them?
Don't they have rights? Don't they have rights?
He complains about everything.
Tell them
Well,
to
Larry-
get all them crappy yes papers up then, that they leave laying everywhere.
See, this is,
I'm sorry.
okay. This, we're not getting anywhere with this. Okay.
Thank you.
So in other words, the village should spend a couple $1,000s amending the ordinance instead of letting this one person come back to the planning commission or to the village council and the ZBA. And the ZBA can say, okay, we'll let you keep 10 chickens, no roosters, because we'll give you a variance, which doesn't set a precedent and it keeps everybody else honest and legal. But no, we'll spend $2,000 of the village's money to change an ordinance to accommodate these people.
I think it may be beneficial for the council if we meet again at some other point to kind of go through this, because I think there's going to be a lot more situations coming up with this as we've enforced
I think
these
you're
new
gonna
rules,
see it.
and I think we need to find a common path how to get through this. I understand law is the law, but we do need to find a way to work through this as a council together, and I think as of right now, we're not working together. I think there's a lot of angst at a minimum.
It's
So.
not animosity.
No, I think everybody's got feelings about this,
Everybody's got
and I think this is
feelings
gonna be
different
not
about it.
necessarily a problem with this scenario in and of itself. I think this is a scenario that's made this situation pop up, but as we go forward with other things, we're gonna have to find a way to accommodate for a procedure or something else as a council so we can provide forward and find a way through this. I don't think that we're gonna have any other way around it.
All right, can they come to the ZBA and can the ZBA waive the fee?
Council could waive the fee. We waived it before.
Because we're our own
Right.
ZBA.
That's correct. So
And we
could
waived the
we
fees
waive
before.
the fee for them?
That doesn't solve the dog problem, but it does address
All
the
right, let me ask
chickens.
you, because one of them is now a, what do you call them,
Service animal.
yes. Does that make a difference?
What is it?
A service.
According-
dog. She's-
service animal?
It's licensed and everything.
Oh, wow.
So what are you saying, that she takes it for someone else to use, or she's training it for
I don't know, she's
use?
gonna, I don't know what she's gonna do, I'm assuming. And I do know the oldest dog, he's that age. I mean, he
Oh.
is
What age is that?
10, I mean, he's a mastiff, they don't live long.
Well, I don't know.
Right, the bigger the dog.
Well, that's
And they
what,
know, they already told me they would
I
not
tried
get
to,
another one.
I tried to open that door, but I was pretty much ignored. If they gave me a veterinary statement that the dog is 10 years old and its life expectancy is so much, then it's not even, then I don't.
Then I will talk to
Because
them about that.
even the ordinance provides for puppies. If a dog has puppies, there's a 6-month period of time. But my point with these people, it seems to be that they want what they want and they want it their way. And that's
No,
not,
I think
and
they
that's
came in
not,
with the idea that it was gonna be, they were gonna be
Discussed.
shut down.
well,
Oh, tonight, yes.
it's the law. It's the
I
law.
had that feeling.
I
but
know
the
it's
law
the
can be
law,
changed.
Mike, but we're a small community, and my whole point is, can we not somehow, from this day forward, try to work with our citizens? Instead of antagonize, make them angry, can't we find a way, as Alex has said, to,
So you don't think they came in here with a chip on their shoulder against me?
yes, I do believe they
No,
did. I do
absolutely.
believe they
Well,
did.
they had that in the background because
Sure.
you guys have had things
We
in the
haven't
background,
had
but that's
things in
beside the point.
years.
They
I
came
know.
in here with a defeatist attitude.
In
They
years.
knew it was
Can't
gonna
we
say
show
no.
them a different side, is what I'm saying? Can we, and I know that,
Did I or did I not indicate
Mike,
that that was a possibility?
you know what someone said to me one time?
Here we go.
Careful.
Said, are you mad? And I said, no. They said, then notify your face. And that's all I'm gonna say. And I have nothing but the utmost respect for you. But sometimes, when we're really passionate about something, our face says something different than what our mouth is saying. And so I think we need to think about that. And I really
By that you
respect
mean
you.
me.
I'm not,
Yeah, I
I'm
mean, you
saying
might as
all
well-
of us.
Yeah, no.
But
That's okay.
I have defended you to them because you're my friend, just like they are. You were
Well,
mad
thank you,
tonight.
Cindy. I appreciate it. I got upset.
I know you did.
And I shouldn't, but it's another story. So can we cut a tree down or not?
I'd like to make a motion to take the tree down.
Okay.
Which bid?
Sorry, sidetracked now.
K&S, I think.
Yeah, I think K&S had
The
the
certificate of
best
insurance.
price.
850 or
Some
800.
company?
yeah, I think it's
Okay, and
K&S.
Okay.
650?
Okay.
Yep, $650 for K&S. I'd like to make a motion to allot $650 to K&S Tree Service to remove the tree.
Wait, it's 700 if they grind
say
the stone.
800 if they grind.
Well,
Wait a minute.
if they take
Grind
the debris,
stone.
but Dave wants the wood, so it's 600.
my-
$800.
Okay.
Wait a minute, who are we looking at?
Sorry, the way I'm reading this is the $650 price is the same as above, except leave all the wood on site, cut 16 to 18 inches.
Yeah.
And that would include stump grind 4 to 6 inches below grade, leave stump mulch on site. Am I
Very nice.
interpreting that correctly?
No, you're going with K&S.
That's what I'm
650,
assuming.
Yeah. That's
Same as
how I'm
the-
reading it.
I hope so.
Yeah,
Leave all
That's
wood.
the way I'm reading it.
Cut 16 inches.
well, what's the 800?
Well, if it was
That's
800,
if
That's
they
if they take
haul
the
the wood.
Take the wood.
They leave the wood.
If they leave the wood,
Yeah.
650 K&S.
okay.
Okay, do we have support?
This one here.
I'll
wants it.
support that.
Who's the motion?
Alex.
Alex, K&S.
Is that K&S?
For
Yeah.
650, leave the wood.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. If Dave doesn't I'm gonna have Don check with Dave and make sure the wood's gonna be gone. I don't want
Yeah,
it left
I
there.
agree with
Well,
you.
yeah.
So, okay, so if you're gonna authorize $650, then if the woods, we'll have to find, I'm sure we can find someone to take the wood if not.
Yeah, open it up.
I have a question as a resident. Is that the wood, I mean, isn't there wood on that property right now that's not gone?
Yes.
No. Well, it's piled up around the base of the tree.
Piled up around that tree, yeah.
But I don't know if it's not the neighbors that's been just moving it up there just to get it out of the way, because it's been falling
But
here.
is this the property in question?
Yes.
Well, why would you, as a village, let him keep that mess that's still there? That should be taken away. He hasn't taken away what's there. How can he keep what wood that's?
Well, this wood is on village property.
So why wouldn't we keep it?
Village
Why
right
wouldn't
of
we
way.
Give it to somebody else that needs it.
Give it to the village, everybody in the village that needs it.
If
Go
we're
for
paying
it.
for it,
Yeah, it's our wood.
Go for it.
Generally, we
yes, I
we
agree.
ask the property owner first.
Yeah.
You know, that's how this
Could
arose.
when they cut that tree down, it said the mess is at the base of that tree? Because there's many piles there.
Oh, yeah.
Could they take away what's there in lieu of the trunk? I mean, have it
I'm
cleaned up.
sure if we wanted to pay them more money, they would.
Well, if you paid for them to take it away, except not take away what's the tree, take away what's on the property.
Well, maybe we could say we leave it there and stipulate that it has to be gone and
Maybe there's an
in a
ordinance
month's
that will
time.
fix that problem.
It's been there years.
I haven't seen the new ordinances, so I can only hope.
Couldn't the fire department
Okay.
have a training exercise where they burn it for them?
I like that
I mean, they all need to learn and practice.
They're a little more professional than that. But,
They're right next door to me. Okay.
Okay.
I gotta get home.
good night.
Bye.
Nice seeing you, Wyatt.
So are we doing a roll call?
If we spend money,
Yeah, what's the motion?
650? You're not
650 for
changing it,
K&S.
right?
K&S.
Service.
K&S.
Yes. Okay. I'd like to make a motion for $650 to KNS to cut down the tree, leave the wood, but grind the stump.
And Shar?
You wanna put a stipulation on that, of how long he can leave the wood?
Yes.
Hey, we have ordinances that cover that. Larry, you want me to go after him? I mean, go ahead. All I need is
It's
a
a case
complaint.
by case.
I quit looking for trouble a long time ago, but when
Well,
trouble
look at
comes to me,
Larry.
I deal with it.
We know that, Mike.
Well, what does the ordinance say? For removal or something like
It-
that?
There's
He
an
could be
ordinance that
ticketed.
covers it. He could be ticketed,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
And then he gets ticketed locally, and then if he doesn't clean up and/or doesn't pay the fine, then he goes to the circuit, or to district court and tells the judge why he can't do it, which is the same process for everybody.
Yeah.
How big is that tree?
Pretty good size.
It's
probably
over.
probably 3
I guess
foot.
the reason I'm asking, is this something that we could get transported to like the wood pile that's behind the shed for where we keep the tractor and stuff? And then if somebody wanted, they could pick it up from there?
I think it would be better to just have them drop it there.
Yeah, I
And just
agree.
Drop
but
and cut it
just-
and stack it, and then it'll disappear one way or the other.
If he doesn't take it, people will steal it.
Oh, yeah, there's no doubt.
Can't we say if he doesn't clean it up within 2 weeks, then it becomes village wood and it's open for the residents to take?
That's a good idea.
Okay.
That's a good idea.
Very good
Is that
idea.
part of your
Part of your-
motion?
Yes.
Excellent.
I'll second that.
All right,
Shall
so
we
there's a
switch to
motion.
Larry?
Because it's village wood to start with, so
Yeah.
2 weeks and that's it.
Okay, so we have a motion and a support. Everybody think understands it, because if I understand it, and I've been behind the curve for 20 minutes now, we'll have a roll call, please.
President McDonald?
Yes.
Mrs. Sotheby?
Yes.
Mr. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Mr. Amaranthi?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for your indulgence in including that on the agenda. Is there any other business to come before the council at this time?
I'd like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas.
So from us all.
I move that we adjourn.
I'll support.
Merry Christmas, everybody.